Good afternoon guys, welcome back to this channel, and hopefully you're coming over from last week where we saw Dave. So I'd like to welcome Dave back, but I've already welcomed him on the video before, so, and after that performance said, oh, I don't think he needs welcoming, I think we just need to crack on. So last week, and I'll tag the video above, what we did, we looked at Dave's pitching, we put him to a test using the TrackMan to see how his pitching was, because he'd mentioned during the winter he's getting too much spin, he's not got control on the shorter shots, and he was a bit lost with his pitching. And like we mentioned towards the end of the video, we haven't looked at your pitching yet, have we?
No, we haven't. No.
So it's something that we haven't gone. We've had a look at his driver swing, we've obviously done his chipping, his putting and his bunkers, we've also done some course management, but pitching is something we've avoided, and it's been circled, as I'll put on screen now, as he was saying that Dave's handicap for pitching was 36 or above, although he has come down in the world handicap system. So what we're going to do today now on this video is we're going to be looking at Dave's technique. So we're going to use TrackMan again, we're going to get some club data, so we're going to start to see how Dave's delivering the club. I'm going to film his motion as well, and then we're going to go through the videos, relate it to the data, and then see what changes we need to make. So very much like what we've done with his putting, very much like what we did with his chipping, and clearly we need a miracle with his pitching.
Miracle, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. So we're going to get into it now. Dave's going to hit me 5 shots. I'm going to tell him that I want him to hit it 75 yards, which he knows after the last one is around about the floodlight that we're aimed at. So we saw that Dave's tendency was to pull it left, so let's hit some shots now. Hopefully he repeats that and doesn't hit it all straight now, and let's see what the numbers say. So a good shot, straight at it.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So
A lot better than last week's.
A lot better than last week, but as I've said there, we was looking at 75 yards, it's gone 84, well it's carried 80, gone 82 even, and just left of target, not much, so I'd be more than happy with that. So let's go again. So full routine as normal, 75, so think about what you would do.
Slightly less than that then.
So slightly less, perfect. So does that mean less swing, or?
No, I'm thinking just hold it a little further down the grip.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. So he's gone a little bit down the grip, maybe an inch, and we'll see if that takes him the 5 yards off in carry. Okay, so there's the left one. So instead of getting yardage off, we gained yardage and we hit it left.
Oh wow, 92.
So that one day obviously carried even further, so it went 85 yards carry, and it finished at 92, and we can see that it's gone around about 10 yards left. Okay, so
Long bunker then.
long bunker, so let's play 3 more. There we go. So a little bit left, and still probably a little bit long.
Yeah.
Oh, so carried 75 but went 85. Wasn't your best strike, I would say there. A bit of a drop kick, would you say?
Yeah.
So a little bit heavy. So again, flown the distance, but then ran out probably a little bit too far. And
Wet green though.
wet green will have spun back, stayed there, and David hold it. That's what he's trying to tell us all. Anyway, 2 more.
Come on.
So a better flight, probably a good yardage.
Put left.
But left, correct. So carried 67, went 78, so it's a little bit closer. Still quite a bit of run out, and wasn't his best strike. So last one, Dave. And now he's mixed it up and pot one out to the right. So
Short and right.
short and right. Okay, good. So we can see there, Dave's hit his 5 shots. We've had anything carrying from that one at 64 all the way up to 85.
Consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, he's had a nice ladder of totally random distances between 85 and 65, which is what we saw last week. So what we want to do now is figure out why he's having those different yardages, why he's having it going left and then that one staying open and going right. The right one for me is more a compensation of he's seen a couple go left, so how can I alter that? I'll leave the face open, the classic then goes right. And again, that could be bunker, could be short, could be trouble.
Water.
So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got 5 shots there, we've got the numbers, Dave. Obviously, as we can see, speed was one big thing that I like to look at in pitching. So if you can't control the speed that you swing in the club, it's going to be very hard to deliver the same loft, deliver the same impact, and therefore harder to hit the same shot. So he's saying his average speed was 58 miles an hour, but we range from 54 miles an hour to 64 miles an hour, and they say around about 1 mile an hour is 2 yards or 2.5, which adds up when we've hit 164 and 185, so it does give us that. But that's one thing we need to work out for Dave. Why? Obviously Dave mentioned gripping down the club, but then he hits it further than ever, so sometimes that's and lefter,
if there is such a word.
and that's what I sometimes see. People think if I grip down it more, but then what they do is they grip down and then they hit it harder because they're worried it's going to come up short, so it's a bit counterproductive in regards of what it does to you. The main reason why it's going left, Dave's club face, so matched the path very much so. So like his club face to path on the last one was wide open because he'd hit a few left, but it was 0.6 open, 0.2 close, 4 degrees open. So if anything, they're open, but the path's left. So as we can tell there, his path ranges on average it's 4 degrees across the ball. That's encouraging it to start there. On those ones his face is 0.6, so obviously it's going to go left because it's only just open of that, and then 0.2 close, again that's hoiking it left. So consistently his face is relatively under control, except for when he's trying to make sure it starts straight, which is more of a compensation because over time Dave's hit that many left, he now tries to guide some and tries to do it, as we all do,
Off dry.
Yeah, we've played sport, we'll try and figure a way out of how do we do it, use our hands, which we know is not the most productive. So we want to work on how we can fix his path. We want to get that path a little bit more neutral for me. His face control then can be just neutral with the path, and we can get that launching straighter. As a result, one of the other things we look at, spin rate's very low because it's more of a glancing blow. He's not getting the ball on the face for long enough for it able to grip and get some spin. Even with a range ball we should be getting more spin than Dave is. So more to the point, when he's on the golf course, one might spin back, one might roll 10 yards past, one might stop dead. It's a lottery. What am I going to get on this shot? And it's hard enough golf as it is for it to be a lottery. Although I put the lottery on for this weekend, so fingers crossed.
Is it real?
I have no idea. I was bored and I put the lottery on. So if you don't see me and Dave again, we're in Barbados living the dream. So
Still looking for spin though.
still looking for spin and better golf, but not on camera. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to film 2 motions up. So we're going to relate the numbers. We're going to see what it's set up and what in Dave's motion is creating that club to come left, and then we're going to get an understanding of how he controls his distance, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we've got Dave's technique. So big things that set up, we're looking at his ball position for me. He's slightly forwards in his stance. So again, as a result, we saw that his angle of attack sometimes was very shallow. It's closing the club face potentially sometimes, and that's going to help. It's going to be where the club's working left. So we're going to get that a little bit further back in the stance. From down the line, the biggest thing for me, he's setting up very much like a full swing. And this is more of a pitch shot, so his stance width is good, but for me the toe of the club is a little bit too much in the air. That's again going to encourage the face to be aiming left to start with, so that's encouraging that left shot that he's got quite a lot of times in the last hour or so that he's been here. So motion wise, as a result of being too far away, the club wants to work on the inside. Then from here you can see his right arm loses connection. It has a little bit of a loop over the top. His lower body's working pretty good, it's staying in its angles. Then through the shot, it's a toe strike. And we can see that that elbow comes off. So if we go on to face on, turns nicely, doesn't sway off the ball, which is what we saw with his driver. And then as we come down, you can see he breaks the line a little bit with his legs. I'm not too worried, but we can start to see the club gets dragged, works left, and that's where it goes left. Those shots both went left. Again, we're trying to hit a pitch shot, so we wouldn't need a full finish. This is a club that he doesn't need to do a full finish with, but we see that he's hitting at this, and that's why his speed is different. If we're going 3/4 back, so I would say he's gone to shoulder on the way back, I'd expect him to finish more of a position there on the way through. So that's what we're going to work on now. Okay, so we've just gone through Dave's videos there, so you'll see what we're talking about and what we want to change for him. So first thing I've got is obviously an alignment stick. So for Dave, when he practices, very rare, but when he does, we can get this down. And again, this is going to be a reference for his ball position. So we saw that his ball position would sneak too far forwards.
Off the left heel.
Off the left heel. Again, Dave, feel and reel, it didn't feel like it was too far forwards, but when you see it on camera, it really highlights what you're actually doing. So we're going to get that down. We're going to make sure that the ball's in the middle of Dave's stance, so that's going to help us neutralise that path. So again, it's not going to be past its low point potentially and working left.
So because it was past its low point, because it's sort of off that left heel, I guess by the time the club hits it, it's already closing. It's already going left.
Correct, and that's why we saw Dave have good control of his club face. It's just that, it's past, he's nearly hitting up and it's turning on the way through, and as a result, the face is left because the path is left, so it's matching, and that's why it came out straight left. Didn't have any curve, didn't hook left, didn't fade back like his longer irons. It's harder to obviously do that with a wedge, but it wasn't that drastic. So that's the first thing. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to grab Dave's towel.
Bit mucky.
Famous last words, is it?
Our lass is going to go mad.
She's not even washed it. Not even washed it, Pete.
Mrs. Harrison.
Unbelievable. Right, so we're going to get Dave, we've seen before, we've done this, just to get his arms better connected. So for pitching, we know that we need to keep these arms connected to our chest, whereas we see Dave likes to do the old off there,
bit of a chicken wing,
and off there, and it'd end up on the floor. So we're going to get him working the body a little bit better. We've also moved him a little bit closer to the ball, so like I said on there, he was too far away, so we're closer to the ball, a little bit taller, and we're now using the rotation of the body to control the speed. If we can control the speed, we can then control the distance, we can control what's happening at impact. It's not then going to go 64 yards, then 84 yards, then 102, and then back to 70. Fingers crossed, anyway. So under the arms.
So other than ball position, the fact I was too far away and that kept letting my arms go, everything was perfect.
Other than that, everything was great. Club looked great. Everything else, not so great. So it was just setup. So basic setup, too far away, which is I see from 90% of golfers, stood too far away, which like we've just discussed, very similar to your chipping, very similar to your putting. So we're closer. Ball position slightly back, and then he's going to start to use his chest more. He's going to rotate. Good. So better movement there with his body. Not as far through on the way through, and the towel's still in place. So we know that his arms are better connected. He still worked a little bit left there, which will show. So as you'll see, and I'll try and slow it down now with some top editing skills, is you'll see Dave's finish there. Because he was so focused on turning, he was a little bit back on his right foot, and his leg was turned this way. So again, in pitching, just like chipping, he's going to favour his left side, which again is going to help that path out to the right, and then he's going to rotate and finish very much over this left side. So Dave, take it away. I'll just get the TrackMan numbers up for us. How would you finish? So that one there started a lot straighter for us, but he didn't pick up the club path number. So we're going to do it again. So weight slightly left, ball position back. Good. Good. So started again very similar to that one. So club path has gone down from the first shot Dave hit, which was a little bit left, was 4.7 across, I believe, to now 3.2. So for me there, angle of attack is the biggest thing. It's saying 0, so still very level. So for Dave, we can either go a little bit further back in his stance, or we can look again a little bit more weight on his left. So that's again down to you, Dave. What do you think? Which would you feel more comfortable?
I still don't think I'm putting much weight on my left hand side.
Perfect, so let's go left. So again, what we're going to do here with Dave now is we're going to give him a drill to do to make sure that he's got his weight left. So Dave's going to now just have his left foot pretty much on this white alignment stick, and we're just going to drop that right foot back, and we're still going to hit a 50-60 yard shot, but this makes sure that he now has to keep that weight on his left and use his body. If he falls over, falls over.
Comedy gold.
It's pure gold. We're going to send it into you being framed.
I'm still using this towel.
Still using the towel. We're not making it easy, Dave. Come on.
You're not kidding.
It's not Christmas yet. It's not the holidays.
Something like that.
Yep. So you can have.
You know, you said it were going to be comedy gold. You won't be far wrong, I don't think.
So again, you can balance the right foot down. Yeah. So you can have the right foot on the ground. Good. So would you say a better strike?
I don't know, because I'm concentrating on not falling over.
So good angle of attack. Again, club path is 3.6, so we still can work on that. So we can still work on that release feeling a little bit out to the right. So let's go again. Same again, and just feel like the club's working out to the right, if anything. That was good. Perfect. So there, although Dave did fall over in the end, but that's because we've made him go to an extreme. We've made him feel there that he was going out to the right, and if we look, that club path now is 0.0. Okay, he did slightly close the face on that one because again he was falling over, but we can see for Dave it's going to be a real exaggeration of working that club out to the right to get that path neutral.
Which is like me putting was.
Yep.
Exactly the same.
Exactly, so the putter wanted to work out and across. We're now getting that feel, the same here with pitching, of getting it working out to the right, as if he's drawing this as opposed to cutting across the ball. Okay, so let's go one more, and then we'll go back to 2 feet, give you a chance. Good. Perfect. So, very good there. We've gone from one side of the spectrum to the other. So we got Dave's path there nicely, just out to the right. He had a slightly closed face, so if anything that was a slight draw shot. Strike wise, grouping is perfect. So again, with that and with his feel and with that under his arms, he can control the distance and hit it consistently. So we know if he needed to hit a shot that's going to go a total of 56, or carry, let's see what the carry is, carry 45, we found him a shot. He's probably half, it's a short shot, but that's a shot he struggled with, as we know from last week's video, which we'll tag above again. So we've changed his path there, so we've given Dave some different feels, we've given him some things to work on, but he's not going to go on the golf course with that under his arms and on one leg. So now we're going to take both out, and we're now going to hit a shot without those, without the drill, and let's see if the numbers have improved. So the same kind of feel, so good setup, and then feel like you're swinging a bit out to the right.
Seriously as well, the wife is going to kill me about the colour of that towel.
Well, it'll be in the wash when you get home now.
You're not kidding. Good man.
So a little draw there probably.
Hit it behind a little bit as well.
A little bit behind. Good, so that's a little bit shorter. Club path without any kind of drills has now gone to 0.2, so as neutral as you would like. Again, angle of attack there, snuck a little bit not steep enough for my liking, but that was because, again, little bit of a fallback, but that's going to be part of Dave's process now. Because this stance is now and he's turning his body, that drill is going to basically give him the feel of staying on that left side and turning around that. Good. Super. So good strike, draw, nice and low. Club path 1 degree out to the right. Carried 57. So you see now, Dave's got some options. That swing was a little bit longer than with the towel because that was more restricted. But we're starting to be able now to have some actual feel. A relatively good ball flight, so now he should be able to judge his distances much better, be a bit more positive with his wedges.
And even though they're just slightly left, they're not massively left, you know, it's not like the ones up at the top there that were...
Correct, so all those have been around about 2 or 3 yards max probably 3 yards, which is, you know, it's around about 9 feet left. If we're 9 feet left, but with good distance, we've still got a 9-foot putt, which we're going to back ourselves to hole a few in the rounds of golf. So guys, hopefully that's been a good insight to what on pitching. It might be something that you do, you feel like you're dragging the club across to the left, maybe try one of those drills out, but this was more to give Dave an understanding, and we haven't been through his pitching, of what he needs to work on now through the winter, so when the greens are wet he can drop down a club, he knows what kind of motion to play, but more so when we go back into the season he's got a clue of what he's doing.
At last.
Always helps. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. What we're going to be looking, again, we're going to continue the pitching theme next week, hopefully. If we haven't got a match against James Robinson and his mid-handicapper, Spriggsy. But if it's pitching,
I still think they're running scared.
Probably running scared, although we have arranged to play with them on Monday, so it depends if I've edited it or not. So we might continue the theme of pitching, and what we're going to do now, Dave's got an understanding of what kind of technique I want him to work on what's going to help his numbers. We're going to start to give him a pitching grid. So from that 30 yards to that 90 yards, we're going to give Dave multiple options of how he can hit it close. Again, he's still got to hit the ball in the centre of the club, but we'll go from there. So guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on Sunday for Golf in 99 Seconds. And Dave will see us
next week with a bit of luck.
Next week with a bit of luck. See you then.